Most of you guys are trying to find a new strategy each and every single day, when at the end of the day, it's about becoming a better marketer more than anything for those of you that are in ecom. But if you just stick to that and you just do that and you just continue to make ads and test products and test offers and do the high level things that need to be done, that briefcase of cash it's sitting there waiting for you, and you will get it eventually. Out of all of the people that are kind of like in my circle now, or people that I've even just used to talk to, at some point they make like at least 6 figures, right? And for a lot of you bigger business guys that are obviously, you know, trying to make 8 or 9 figures, it's like part of the reason why it becomes harder to actually get to that next level is because you don't have to do the work, right? So for those of you that are at a bigger level, you know, you're kind of in this position where you don't need to do it. Actually, in a weird way, becomes harder because you can kind of just sit back and coast and like not really have to worry about it, right? Maybe you can't buy a jet or you can't buy a 7 Ferraris or a yacht, but you know, you're living pretty good, right? Sometimes doing the work becomes even harder. And so to get to that next level, sometimes you really have to like shift your perspective of like, hey, somebody's going to pay me 10 mil to do this. Like, would I do this for 10 mil? Like, yeah. And at the end of the day, I'll share one final personal story with you guys. Is when I was actually building one of our new programs that is for people who are at a very high level, trying to figure out how to build teams and scale teams and stuff like that with their e-commerce brands. And when I was building that program, I was just like, I took everything in me to build it and put it together. And at the end of it, I even had a conversation with my partner, Shaun. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. Like, this is so much work. I've never worked so much on a specific thing, and I don't even know why I'm doing it. And he just told me, he's like, just get through it and do it. And, you know, now as a result of after doing that, you know, the amount of money that I made from making that program actually is kind of how I helped develop this frame a little bit further as well, where thinking back about the amount of money that I got paid to basically build that program, it's absurd. And that's just been in like the first 2 months and 2.5 months that it's actually been like available for people to even get. And I'm looking back at it and I laugh. I'm like, if you would have told me in the beginning that I would make this much money from making this program, like I would have had it done in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't have taken me 3 months, although, you know, I probably would have put more time into it. But at the end of the day, you get the point. And so hopefully this video has helped you kind of reframe things in your mind. So again, the TLDR of all this, the takeaway is that if you can change it to, hey, if I just do this amount of work, I'm likely going to solve this $100,000 problem or this $1 million problem or this $10 million problem. And if you think of it from that way, where it's, hey, if I do the inputs that are required, I'm likely going to figure out something or create something for most of you guys, winning ads or winning offers that are going to make you tons of money, you know, potentially hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. And so when you frame it that way, all of a sudden the work kind of becomes easier to do because now you're doing it to get paid, right? I just hope that this sticks with at least one of you that are watching this and potentially struggling to do the work. Maybe you're early on and you're not really sure what to do, and so you're trying to consume a bunch of information. Just understand that if you just do a lot of reps, like, you're gonna get good, and then at some point that briefcase that is virtual and imaginary will actually be there for you. And then for those of you that are at a higher level, I think a lot of the times it just comes down to just understanding like, hey, this problem that I'm trying to solve or this amount of money that I'm trying to make is there. And again, like I said, sometimes we underestimate how much money is there. Sometimes it's a lot more than we expect. And so if you just try to, again, trick your brain to saying, hey, I'm solving a $10 million problem or a $5 million problem, this is what I need to do it. And once I figure it out, I'm going to get paid. All of a sudden it becomes a little bit easier to do the work because you're not thinking about all these, what if I do all the work and this and that? What if it doesn't work? You're just focusing on the work that needs to be done.